Right, so I'm going to quickly run through our dynamic warm-up. There's 5 exercises and you're going to do each for the prescribed amount of time or reps and the amount of rounds. So on the flexibility program, you're going to do 2 to 3 rounds of this for 60 seconds each. Now, if you are pressed for time, just do 1 round because obviously a full round takes about 5 minutes. So if you do 2 or 3 rounds, it does add up. Like I said, there's 5 exercises. You're just going to run through them back to back continuously. Exercise number 1 is hip swivels. We're going to start with our feet just wide on the shoulder width and flat. You're going to sit up as tall as you can with your hands behind you, and you're going to try and keep your torso square to the wall in front of you and facing forwards. From there, you're going to rotate your hips in and out. So one hip's internally rotating and adducting, one hip's externally rotating and abducting. And then you're going to open one hip up, trying to keep that other knee down, actively finding a stretch in my groin. Now this knee that's opening is going to drag the other leg across. I'm not letting this leg close in, but I'm trying to keep them apart as I move across, and then close that one in. And again, open that one up. That side's going to drag the other one across, and then close it. Just keep a nice smooth tempo. You don't have to go dead slow. Just move from one to the other, and you're doing it for either time or reps. Okay, that's our hip swivels. Our next one's going to be our QL swivels, or quadrupled rotation. So you're going to lie on your back, knees bent about 90 degrees. You're going to squeeze your feet and your knees together. You're going to pull your toes up to your shins. Keeping our arms out nice and wide, we're just going to rotate one side, making sure that I keep my knees and my heels stacked. I've not let one stay behind. They both rotated over, and I'm trying to keep my shoulders to the floor. I'm going to rotate it to the other side. And I'm just going to repeat again for the time or reps. Every time I'm coming here, I should feel my groin engaging as I'm abducting there, adducting, and then slowly go across to the other side. Just feel a nice stretch in the outside of my body. Our next one is pendulums. So now, again, we're going to be rotating the body, but we're going to do it with a straight leg. So I'm going to bring my leg up to the ceiling. I'm going to reach that foot up and over to the other hand, find a nice stretch into my hip and my back up to the centre and down, and then alternate. Up, reach over, bring it back, and down. Number 4 is we're going to lie on our bellies, arms out. It's the exact opposite of the last one, so we're going to bend the knee, we're going to kick up to the ceiling, and then we're going to reach over, get into a nice rotation for the hips and the low back, and then bringing it back in and down. So bend, kick up, rotate over, back and down. Try and keep your shoulders flat if you can. So you're just rotating through the lower body. You're not compensating with your upper. Good. Next is we're going to just do some kneeling side bends. So just in a kneeling position like so. Hands on the back of your head. Stay nice and tall. I'm going to lean side bend to one side, laterally flexing. I'm thinking about crunching one side, so open up the other. So I'm reaching up with this elbow as I reach down with that one, and then back to centre and alternating. Okay. So I'm going to give you a 6th one, which I would like for you to do. You don't have to, but these are just called hip openers, gate openers from a kneeling position. So driving your hips forward, squeezing your glutes, hands on your hips. You're going to open one hip out, and then close it back. As you can see, I'm doing it with my toes touching the walls to make it a bit harder. I can move away from the wall. The only key I want you to think about is keeping your glutes pushed forward, so we're nice and high into that glute med. And then when I bring this leg out, I'm not falling back. So open the hip out, close it in. Open out, ooh. Close it in. And again, you're just going to do the prescribed time or reps for these as well. Okay, so there's 5 plus the 6, there's actually 6. A minute on each, and just move through them continuously. Do 1, 2 or 3 rounds, whatever's prescribed. Just make sure you do them before you do your actual flexibility work or your strength work, just so we're getting some mobilisation through the hips and everything's warmed up nicely before we smash it. So